Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewer, Mango Facts 98. Thanks for the question, Mango Facts. You asked, why are Iceland and Greenland named so misleadingly? Did someone just mix up the labels and never fixed it? Now, if you've ever looked at a globe, or even just heard these names, you've probably wondered the same thing. I mean, Iceland sounds like it should be a frozen wasteland, and Greenland sounds like a lush paradise full of sheep, songbirds, and maybe a Whole Foods. But no, Greenland is mostly ice, and Iceland? Gorgeous, green, cozy in parts. It's basically the plot twist of geography. So, what actually happened here? Who messed this up? Let's talk about it, right here on Explaining Everything. Let's start with the basics. Iceland and Greenland are not interchangeable ice cubes in Earth's cocktail. Greenland is huge, like if continents were at a party, Greenland would be the quiet, tall guy in the back who turns out to be a DJ. It's the world's largest island that isn't a continent, and about 80% of it is covered in ice. Permanent, unfriendly ice. Iceland, on the other hand, is relatively small and is home to green valleys, hot springs, volcanoes, and sheep who seem to have job security for life. Yes, there's ice in Iceland, especially on glaciers, but large swaths of the country are quite lush and temperate. So, why the heck did we name these places the opposite of what they are? Okay, imagine you're a Viking. You've just spent the better part of your adult life rowing around, pillaging, wearing some fur. You're tired. You want to settle down somewhere with a decent temperature, some greenery, and maybe fewer people trying to stab you. Around 874 AD, a Norseman named Ingolfur Arnarson arrived in what we now call Iceland. He looked around and said, yeah, this place rules, and decided to make it his home. But wait, before that, there was a guy named Nadod who discovered the island first. He found it covered in snow and decided to name it Snæland, which literally means snowland. Points for creativity, Nadod. Then came another guy, Floki Vilgadarsson, who also sailed over, had a rough time surviving, and eventually climbed a mountain, saw a fjord full of ice, and said, you know what? This whole place, Iceland. To be fair, he was having a really bad time. His livestock died, his crops failed. He probably stubbed his toe every morning, so his branding was a bit dramatic. Now let's talk about Greenland, the icy one. Around 982 AD, along comes Erik the Red, an exiled Viking with a temper and some serious real estate ambitions. Erik had been kicked out of both Norway and Iceland for murder. That's two countries in one lifetime. Impressive in a horrifying way. So he sails west and discovers a new icy landmass. Most people would look at a giant glacier-covered island and think, well, that's a pass. But not Erik. Erik saw opportunity. And also maybe a lack of extradition treaties. Here's the twist. Erik wanted people to come settle with him. But let's be honest. If he told them, hey, want to come live with me in Ice Murder Island? No one was going to RSVP. So, Erik decided to use the oldest trick in the brochure writing book. False advertising. He called it Greenland, hoping that the pleasant name would attract settlers. And it worked. A few hundred people signed up, packed their things, and arrived to find snow. So much snow. Just infinite blinding snow. And probably a very awkward Erik standing there saying, "Okay, so it's more of a seasonal green." To this day, historians agree it was probably a deliberate marketing move. Erik the Red may have been a killer, but he was also a branding genius. So, who's to blame? Short answer: the Vikings. Specifically, two moody guys with beards and zero chill when it came to naming things. Iceland got its icy name from one guy having a rough week. Greenland got its green name from one guy trying to rent out a snow-covered timeshare. That's it. No big government mix-up, no ancient cartographer typo, just some classic Viking-level drama and early propaganda. Here's the real kicker. Even with the misleading names, both places turned out pretty okay. Iceland is now a peaceful, thriving country with a strong economy, stunning landscapes, and a population that believes in elves more than most people believe in their retirement funds. Greenland, while mostly uninhabitable, has a rich indigenous culture and plays a huge role in climate science, geopolitics, and melting at a rate that's making everyone very nervous. But their names? Permanent branding disasters. You can change a logo, sure, but try changing the name of a country after it's been on the map for 1,000 years. Doesn't go over well. So, to sum it all up, Iceland is greener than Greenland. Greenland is icier than Iceland. And this whole mess is thanks to some overly dramatic and/or manipulative Vikings. Honestly, it's kind of on brand for the Viking era. If you can name a land after your mood or lie to populate your ice farm, why not? If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button like Erik the Red hitting the rebrand button, and subscribe while you're at it. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.